Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and we won after staying up so late for the prospect of the next Kingdom Hearts game. We have it. Kingdom Hearts 4 is coming. We're gonna analyze and find the secrets of the first ever reveal trailer. There's a lot to go over, so I hope you're ready to take a deep dive with me, your boy HMK. Let us dive directly into the darkness. So, first and foremost, this is introducing the Lost Master arc. In a press release that was given to me by Square Enix, they confirmed that Kingdom Hearts 4 will be the first game within the Lost Master arc, even though it seems that this will be the 5th game in Phase 2. As in Phase 2, remember, we started with Kingdom Hearts Remind, we went on with Kingdom Hearts Union Cross Dark Road, Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, and it's going to round it off with the new Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, and now Kingdom Hearts 4, which I feel is going to be a great way in order to establish what is going on with this next arc, the Lost Master arc. Here we see a very familiar cityscape that a lot of people have put one and one together of Quadratum. We can see the 4 less sign that was very visible from the battle between Sora and Yozora in Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind in the secret episode. Here we have what seems to be a narration from either Lushu or the Master of Masters. You know, when it comes to the tonalities, it gets really, blurry. But apparently, they state, if this isn't the ending you desire, if it brings despair when it comes to this world that they're in, Quadratum, they state that you can go off to another world. Leave this world for another. As we see something weird come into contact with the ether that's going around in Quadratum. But we are gonna find out what exactly this is going to be, and man, oh man, I hope you guys are ready for this. Apparently the options for worlds outside of this one are endless. Let's continue when it comes to Kingdom Hearts 4. The heart resides within the soul, which in turn is guided by fate to its rightful place. Here we see a very impressive rendition of what seems to be a very natural, realistic forest when it comes to the water and the trees that we see in the background. Since this is in Quadratum and Quadratum is based on modern day Tokyo, Japan, I want to assume that this is the forest that we can find in Harajuku, which I've been to personally. Now we see a shot from Kingdom Hearts 3 with the chess piece, Sora's chess piece, stating that the choice is yours once more when it comes to the heart and soul. And here we have it, ladies and gentlemen, a sleeping Sora with the brand new Quadratum drip. Every time there has to be a new numbered Kingdom Hearts game, Sora has to have a new set of clothes, and look at our boy. He is so beautiful in this new graphical setting, because of course, if you play Kingdom Hearts Remind and know about VENGENCE and Quadratum, Sora is going to look a lot more realistic this time around, and he's very Final Fantasy-esque. And can I say, this drip is so good on him. It seems to be very close to that of the Super Groupies clothing that Nomura has designed for Sora, among others like Roxas, Riku, Axel, Lee, and Kairi. But this looks so good on him. Now apparently he wakes up in an unknown apartment. Is this his apartment in Quadratum? It's really up in the air. But then he has a visitor, and big bombshell, ladies and gentlemen, it's Strelitzia. As we've known from Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, we saw Strelitzia meet her end at the hands of the darkness that was inhabiting Vence's body. However, it seemed that Strelitzia was brought back somehow thanks to Lushu and was sent off as a true dandelion into the future, and was wearing a white coat that presented herself to Achirithi and Lorium in a dream. But now here she is in Quadratum, which I feel a very big and dark theory is going to go into play when it comes to Sora and her being there. Apparently Sora has been asleep since he arrived in Quadratum 7 days ago, 7/13. Oh man, Nomura, let me tell you. But it's a lot of people are thinking that either after he got defeated by Yozora and he entered a crystal state, he was asleep for 7 days, but that doesn't explain how he got out of the crystal state, or that when he defeated Yozora, he's remained asleep in Quadratum ever since beating him and going back to the Fallen World. It's really up in the air, but apparently he's been here 7 days, arriving in this world with new hair, new drip, all this good jazz. What is going on? And it seems that Strelitzia knows a good chunk about this world as we look over into the skyline of Shibuya, Japan in Quadratum. Here we can see buildings, we can see the bustling cars, we can see the beautiful sunset over in the clouds in the distance. but it will take a bleak turn. As we see here, these are actual locations and locales that you can see in Shibuya. Rolexia said this world is full of life, but then we see this big ominous ball of darkness when it comes to what is going on here. But apparently, for Sora and Rolexia, it's similar to an afterworld, an afterlife, I suppose. Because as we all know, Rolexia did meet her end in Union Cross, and Sora did pay the ultimate price when using the power of waking to save Kairi. So in a way, they both died and possibly ascended to the afterworld, the afterlife. And when it comes to this big ball of darkness, can you see the clouds just getting super cloudy in the distance? This big shadow monster is coming into focus when it comes to terrorizing the people of Quadram. And as we can see here, after everything comes into focus, this is a very realistic rendition of a dark side. And you see that these cars are still bustling and moving when this gigantic Heartless came into fruition and was able to smoke an individual. Oh no, this is looking very dark, ladies and gentlemen. Here we have a very muscular, a very realistic, or I should say a realistic take on the dark side, and I am so ready for this. As people are running in terror, a familiar hero who never forgets the goodness in his heart approaches the dark side when no one else would. Here, Sora summons the Kingdom Key and is ready to go against this dark side. Here we have some mock-up gameplay, which a lot of people are pointing out that might not be an actual gameplay rendition, but something that they showed off in which they think the gameplay is going to go down when it comes to Kingdom Hearts 4. Now, of course, if you know Shibuya and if you've played The Will Ends With You, you know this location very close to the Shibuya Hikari building, where the 20th anniversary event was being held, and it is the Shibuya Station overpass, in which is very close to the train station. Literally, the Heartless, this big dark side, is in the middle of that. Sora is ready to go against this man. He is jumping onto poles, he is bouncing off the walls and whatnot, and has this new chain ability in which the chain is coming off the keychain of the Kingdom Key. What is good to point out is in the command menu, the last command, as we have attack, magic, item, the last command says build. We have no idea what that means, but obviously this is all subject to change. Just like Sora's picture, the EX and MP bar along with his HP bar in the corner. But I will say this looks a lot more complete when it comes to being compared to the Kingdom Hearts 3 reveal trailer. But man, I am loving how Sora's is zooming into place. As you can see here, there is a hook at the end of the keychain chain of the Kingdom Key. Sora comes into contact with a building and is running up the walls. And just, can I say that the music that you hear in the background is very reminiscent of Final Fantasy and possibly that of Versus 13. As he's running up the wall, the dark side is really coming at this man. The dark side takes a building and Sora just slides through it as all the glass is shattering around him in order to come into contact with this colossal Heartless, which seems very similar to a Versus 13. Once again, Nomura's Revenge, I am just saying. And then Sora comes into contact with a giant fist, but uses the power of the Kingdom Key, which you can see the crown symbol, Sora's crown symbol, and a button press that he's using the Kingdom Key to block it and apparently conjure an energy surrounding drill. This is the drill that pierces the heavens. Do we have any Gurren Lagann fans in the house? And then he's able to fire off this projectile from the Kingdom Key. It is really unknown how this works, but I'm thinking that Sora is able to block the force of the Darkseid's punch and convert that into a kinetic energy projectile that he can fire back at his enemies. So it seems very interesting on what Sora is able to do within Quadratum. As the dark side staggers, he looks to the Keyblade wielding hero, goes for another punch. Sora is ready to go, but then in the distance, on the top of this building, we hear another monologue from an unknown entity. If you do leave this world behind, don't expect to return to the one in which you came from. And here we have two black coats, and I'm guessing the black coat with the arms behind his back is the Master of Masters, and the other black coat is more likely Lushu, aka Braig, aka Zigbar, and somehow he was able to make his way and reunite with his master in Quadratum. what is the Master of Masters playing at? And here we have the glorious logo of Kingdom Hearts 4. And as you notice, the font is completely different for this new arc of Kingdom Hearts, and this looks so clean. Now, Kingdom Hearts logos have been all over the place, but this one looks very sharp. It looks very consistent. It looks very, very bleak and dark. It seems that this Kingdom Hearts game is going to be just that, a mature take on Sora, Quadranum, and everything that deals with this new arc, the Lost Master arc. But the trailer doesn't end there, ladies and gentlemen. Here we have two very familiar faces, Donald and Goofy, but they're not in the Quadranum, I would say, art style or graphical sense. They're in the Kingdom Hearts 3 graphical kingdom shader. Here, apparently they're looking for someone. I wonder where he is. It's a very dark cavern. Goofy states, I don't know, but I'm sure he can help. And this is where the theories come into play. In the distance, we see a blue flame light up. And Donald's like, wait, who that? Oh no. And then you hear, hey, if you recognize the voice acting from Japan, then you would know that this entity is Hades. And then you would see, where do you guys think you're going? And then the flame goes from blue to a reddish orange. As we all know, that's Hades when he gets really mad. So it seems that Donald and Goofy were exploring the underworld in order to find Hades, in order to possibly get his help to bring Sora back. Because just like I said before with the theory with Rolexia and Sora both experiencing a type of death, Hades may be the one to point them in the right direction, or possibly throw them into the void that will lead them to Quadranum, since Donald and Goofy don't have the power of waking. And that makes a lot of sense when it comes to how Hades was able to summon the baddest, the mother of all bad guys, Auron from Final Fantasy X. And another thing to know about Auron from Final Fantasy X, that is the one Final Fantasy character that seems to be very, very much in line with his original self from Final Fantasy X. Not a rendition, not a portrayal. That straight up might be Auron from Final Fantasy X, because apparently Hades might have the power to go and open up portals to places in which he could find people that have died a certain death, and that is why Donald and Goofy are going after him to help out bringing Sora home. Now, what did you guys think about this analysis? Do you have anything else to add when it comes to what we see in Kingdom Hearts 4? Quadranum, this realistic sense, I am just kind of sad we didn't see Zora, but I know he's lurking around here somewhere. Let me know your theories and thoughts in the comment section below, and be sure to like, share, and most importantly subscribe to HMK for more Kingdom Hearts 4 videos. Kingdom Hearts time is back, ladies and gentlemen. Until the next video, until our next deep dive into Quadranum, this has been HMK, and I'll check you guys later.
So you haven't subscribed to HMK yet? Don't piss Xemnas off.